everyone, welcome back to the Closet Kitchen. I'm Salem Rain. I will be showing you how I make my deviled eggs, which I call the most devilish deviled eggs. Right off the top, you may be wondering, why is Satan in my eggs? Well, he's not. It's just a term. It is a term used in reference to foods, and it can be dated back to 1786. In the 19th century, the term deviled was used mostly in reference to foods that were both spicy and zesty, including these eggs. Rest assured, the devil is not in your eggs. Deviled eggs are one of my favorite hors d'oeuvres, or horse devours, however you want to pronounce that. I grew up eating deviled eggs. I absolutely love them. A tray or two of these little devils can be found at all of my family functions, including my own. I'm calling these the most devilish deviled eggs because they are stuffed full of spicy and zesty flavor, truly earning the name deviled. Let's boil, peel, cut, mix, and stuff some eggs. I'm going to show you how to boil eggs. Start by filling a pot with some water. Just enough so that when you put the eggs in the pot, you won't risk cracking them. The eggs are now on the stove, and I've turned the heat on to maximum heat. All we're going to do is bring the water up to a boil, and as soon as that water comes to a full boil, we're going to turn the timer on for 8 minutes. Once the 8 minutes is up, I'm going to show you what I do next. The water has come to a boil. Turn the timer on for 8 minutes. The eggs have almost finished boiling, so while they've been boiling, what I did was I filled a bowl with some ice. And I'm going to put some cold water in the bowl, giving these eggs an ice bath once they finish boiling. The eggs have finished boiling. Get them off the heat. I'm using a serrated spoon and putting the eggs into the ice bath. Let the eggs sit in the ice bath for 5 to 10 minutes. Putting the boiled eggs into an ice bath is going to make the peeling of the eggs much easier. It helps contract the egg, making it a little bit easier for you to peel the egg. Let's peel these eggs. If you're having a hard time peeling your eggs, you can always give them a little bit of a start on the counter, tapping it all the way around, rolling it a little bit, and then putting it back into the water. The water will help loosen the eggshell from the egg. You might find it easier to peel the egg under some lightly running water. Just go slow to start. The next step is cutting the eggs. Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack. Take an egg. Cut the egg in half. Put the yolk in the bowl. Wipe off your knife. Now you may be wondering, what makes these eggs so devilish? What makes them so spicy and so zesty? 12 large eggs. You can use brown or white eggs. A half a cup of full-fat mayonnaise. 1 tablespoon of softened butter. You can use salted or unsalted butter. 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. 2 teaspoons of dill pickle juice. 1 tablespoon of minced shallot. 1 teaspoon of dry mustard powder. 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt. 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. It's time to mix everything up. Have a fork, a spoon, and all of the ingredients. Start by forking the yolks. Just fork them. Put everything else in. Give it a good stir, kind of mashing that yolk mixture. You can also put this through a food processor to make it ultra smooth if that's what you prefer. This is actually really, really smooth when it's finished, and we're going to be putting this through a piping bag on top of that. On to the next step. Now it's time to take the mixed egg mixture and put it in the piping bag. I have my piping bag, and I have the desired tip I wish to use on it. And I'm using this coffee thermos to make the whole process of putting the egg mixture into the piping bag much easier. Of course, if you don't want to pipe your egg mixture, you can also just take a smaller spoon and delicately spoon into the egg cavity. But that's not what I'm doing today. Because of the frequency in which I make these eggs, I have a deviled egg tray. Now these can be put on any sort of surface that you wish, any sort of serving tray. They store great in the fridge in an airtight container and are best assembled the day of you wish to serve them. I wouldn't recommend making them more than one day in advance. It's also really easy to store the piping bag with the egg mixture in the fridge as well, and assemble the eggs when you're ready to serve. Now to pipe the egg mixture into the eggs. I like topping my deviled eggs with paprika. Today I'm using a sweet Hungarian paprika. And just like that, these devilish eggs are done. It's a fantastic base, packing a punch of flavor, waiting for your creativity to garnish. You can garnish these eggs with anything, such as chives, or maybe some smoked salmon, or candied jalapeno, or bacon. Because of the maple syrup and the egg mixture, these eggs pair beautifully with bacon. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and that you join me again next time. Who knows what I'll be doing? I don't. See you again soon.